I do think there's definitely something to this faith, as it were, that we can understand the world. But at the same time, there's this tendency whereby in trying to understand, we also want to capture, we want to master, we want to categorize, and so that everything is in its own little box, and so that we feel like we've got a grip on things. And the world, it's almost like it knows we're trying to do that. It's like it knows, and so it's always just making itself a little bit more fluid, a little bit, more fine-grained, so that it slips through our fingers, just to keep us on the trail, I suppose. And there's something like that going on with the UAP thing, I think.
Well, this suggestion about the trickster element, right, of all of these, when I started hearing about it in the context of psychical research, at the beginning it made me uncomfortable and a bit pissed off, because it's like, all right, so if I'm going to apply the rules of the game here to study this scientifically, but now and then you're going to tell me that there's that thing, it's playing with me. It's like I'm running an experiment, and when I go to the toilet or for a coffee, they go and they mess up with my equipment, right? It's like, come on, that's no.
Did someone mess up with my equipment while I went to get the toilet coffee? That's the latest from Jonathan Doomier. I haven't checked in on him in a while. How are you doing, everybody? It's a show. My eyes seem to be in the right place, but the camera seems low. I don't know. I should have ran the dryer for another 15 minutes, I think. Welcome. This is the Cosmology 5-Wise stream. This is how it goes around here. Welcome. Remember it.
This agency. We want back.
Tell me that you've lived lived here your whole life? No, not yet. Are you married? No, no bad habits. No bad habits, eh? Well, what do you chew that tobacco for? For nothing. Nobody's fool enough to pay me for it. Well, tell me, how far is it to the next crossroads? Follow your nose and you'll come to it. Follow your nose, follow your nose and you'll
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all. And welcome to the Cosmology Five Wise Dark Tower. That was the mute, not to take the branding down. Hello, the Ups, and Avriel and Mosley and Chad and Doc and Mills and Huggle and Josh and that looks like mostly. Who would I miss? Hey, Franco's way up there. Welcome, everybody. Let's do a show. Let's do a stream. Let's have a thing. I feel as though I've been paid. We'll see. Savings throws are against mind control, and you're swimming in it, don't you know? Especially here on this show. You get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your savings throw. I roll the die. If it's over 10, half damage. You've made your savings throw. If it's under 10, you take full damage. But remember, everybody, you get +2 for chatting in the hive mind and letting everyone know you're here, and they're less virtually not alone. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Hey, Ansel, man. Survivalist with a 7. You're going to need a bonus +5 for a replay comment. Socialist doing great with an 18. You got the half damage going on. Lovers of wisdom. I don't know what's up today. You got a 5. Hard folks, Baker's Coven. Look at that. 13 for you. Indigo kids pairing it up with the wisdom folks for another 5. If you team up and use both your chakras, then you guys get made the savings throw. But otherwise, full damage for you.
So say we all. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Ho, ho, ho.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see. Doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
So what's going on here, Grim? It's the Cosmology 5 Wives, Dark Tower, Dark Arts. Both of those things come out of these cards, I think. So we're gonna have to get going pretty soon. We haven't even done the shuffle deck or anything. Here, have this one. Hello. I see the assassin. I see the assassin. I see the assassin. We have wait. I'm just tired of it. I don't care. I'll be down here. I'll be a hypocrite. What's it? I need a booster seat. What the hell? Okay, CW Week says, when is the Baxter Roy coverage? Boy, howdy, I have seen the budget allocated to the promoting of any Roy coverage, so I'm waiting to see it myself before I do any coverage. Hey, look, it's Tunji from the North. Howdy, we are alive. We are alive. This is what we're doing with our lives. We're here together in this weird internet bubble. And I needed this one. I hope you guys like it too. I hope you guys like where did that hear it? I needed this. All right, well, Grim, what the hell is your show even going to be about today? What's up with that? What happened was, is as happens, I get up in the morning and I try to find something interesting to bring to you guys at this time of the day for the regularly scheduled being together that we do, and as it turned out, that we almost ended up with going into the Big Bird and Alexander Dugan and the fourth, and the fun stuff on that. It's good times, but instead I went back through more of the John Vervaeke Hermes talk that was landed by Grail Country Nate over there, and I went through another 15 minutes of that. We'll be hitting those highlights. Interestingly, apparently, a character named Grim Grizz talked to some fella named Jordan Hall, and some people have been sending me clips of that. We'll go over some of those. Really fascinating stuff. I hadn't seen it before. Oh, look, the King of Hearts is the Blue Church card of the show. That's what the deck looks like. Welcome, everybody. And what else? And then more. And the more. There's stuff coming up I didn't say. Now, there's a lot of fun stuff we're going to be going over on this Path of the Hermit with Dr. John Vervaeke on the Grail Country stream. But one particular part is what I call a piece of clip mail. Clip mail. I'm going to give you two examples of this concept called clip mail. And I should almost open up a paint. But the notion is that what part of a way that we can participate in a way that we haven't is sort of as a filter for our favorite people. And the one way we could do that is by sorting out their clip mail, right? And so here's a piece of clip mail that I'm sending to Chezi. This is right here. You go here, you click that, and then what is it? 23, 23. It's a 23. Close enough.
The visual center, the noesis, the interpretation, right? And
Can
then
I throw you for a very weird loop before I lose the thread?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, please.
When you say it has the 4 aspects, that maybe at least thinks of like, do you think there's a way in which that might be tied to the like the sort of the Kabbalistic idea of the aspects that are represented by the letters of the Tetragrammaton? Like, is there a connection there?
No.
Especially given the in Hebraic thought, the emphasis of like creation coming into being through the spoken word.
Creation coming into being through the spoken word, like we have no experience with that. Welcome. Hiya, Kale. Good to see you. Yes, I absolutely want to see what someone called me on your timeline. Hey, Zach, how you doing? Thanks for the bubble. Well, thanks for the bubble. What else did you see? Hey, Ansel, man, good to see you again. He made some tarts. It was the convo of the year. Well, there's some clips from it. But that's like that. Since Chezi is a resident Kabbalah expert, we want to refer that to him, and we throw it in the box of clip mails that we want Chezi to deal with. But then we have this participatory layer where the clip mails for the person get upvoted by the people in terms of their relevance to them. So the community's relevance is expressed through the upvoting on the mail of the clip. And then when the person actually spends their time on their clip mail, they, of course, would go with the most upvoted of the clip mails. There's that. And press the button. And now, therefore, I did say I would give you 2 examples over on this fancy X thing they have. Where is the communities even at? It's so hard to find. Yes, way over here on our top secret X community. That's not it. I didn't reshare that one. Damn it, man. It is the 33rd minute of the show. We'll get to that. We'll get to this one. This one here. Here's later in the stream. He does a clip mail to Jonathan Pajot, and I've done the work on that for him.
Yeah, I when you were just talking about that, I couldn't help but think of like the words of the creed when it talks about the Son being begotten but not made.
That's right.
But
exactly.
but then also a few lines later, at least in the Latin, it says "and was made man" because it's "faccio" in Latin. It's like "and was made man."
Yeah. Yes. That's interesting. I wonder what I should talk to Jonathan Pajot. He would be the person that would most unpack that for me, perhaps.
Now, you see there where I've taken our opportunity where Verveki puts Pajot on the hook and made it into a hook and thrown it into the fishing of men over on the X platform. This is the part of the work we do around here. All right, those are the boring clips. We'll get to the fun ones later, right after this. All right, there then, folks. We got a special appearance by Buddy the Cat. Hey, Buddy. Yes. Yeah. So, I wasn't gonna play this yet. I wanted to go into something else, but instead, here's some of this we're gonna talk about, maybe. And
I apologize. If you want to go deeper, Christ was baptized in the Jordan. So it's a crossing of a boundary in every symbolic direction. This is sort of like Pageau's world. So I don't want to cross that boundary, but you can definitely skate a lot there.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Is it like narratively, like that's the narrative or synchronistic or whatever beauty of this existence that ultimately convinced me this wasn't hell. Because, like, for all I knew, you know, this, like, the best definition I've ever, or at least that I've heard of hell that I adopted, was like, it's where God's not. And depending on your worldview, he can be pretty hard to see here. Like, you have the free will to not see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's there the whole time, and it's part of you always knows it's there. But that's where free will comes in, is what you accept and reject. And I don't know where I'm going with any of this, but
Well,
you guys, have you guys figured it out? Oh God. What's the next clip you have written down, man? 2709. Okay, play that and shut up. Done.
We'll track what I'm thinking of here. I think the most basic way to try to, like, point at what we mean when we talk about truth is in some way, whatever idea of truth we're talking about, it has to do with unity.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason it's dangerous to divorce the idea of truth from love is that love is this weird form of unity that also affords room for diversity and multiplicity.
Sure.
And so when we get focused on truth as essentially something that we can hold or grab and possess, then it's not that it's not true in some sense, but it's true in a lesser.
All right, you took it too far, Grim, because this is the what you call it here, Cosmology 5-Wise Dark Tower Dark Art Stream. And the Dark Tower part is that involves that unity nonsense. Go back.
And affords room for diversity.
There.
That also
there.
Give truth from love is that love is this weird form of unity that also affords room for diversity and multiplicity.
Sure.
Sure. Now, see, that part made me remember Karen Wong and the Wolfram days and the pockets of intelligibility, and that always reminds me of the Dark Tower, which is there was actually a different thumbnail generated. There, where is it? There. No, stop it. You haven't even. Never ever do this, ever. This is terrible. How dare you? Here it is. Oh God! And now it's uploading. You're the best. Okay, there it is. That was the Dark Tower one came out. It triggered me very, very global reset wise. Don't you know? But so the whole pockets, the reason, not because the gunslinger and the fun stuff that I used to like about the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, which is deep mimetic programming for people of my generation. Back when it was book done, they did it with books back in my day, kids. It was terrible, and one of those was by the author Stephen King, who married some lady, and the and the Dark Tower series culminated in the movie with the guy, and the guy was playing the gunslinger at the Dark Tower. But the concept of the Dark Tower was that the realm they existed in there was like a post-apocalyptic one of this one where they remembered the song "Hey Jude." The That's anti-Semitic. Now, the cosmology of that existence was that the world was held together by the Dark Tower, preventing all the terrible evils from the outside from getting into its bubble. And we like to think that the universe is made of love. The underlying fundament is the Higgs field of love, and but it occurred to me when he said this bit about it's the only unity that can contain the multiplicity, that there might be a swarm of multiplicity externally, and that's why the word heliosphere came to mind. You see, I didn't realize the sun existed in the ball until our supposed satellite Voyager whatever went through exited the heliosphere in the NASA science space narrative. But so just the notion that the realm, it means that it adds not the sense of urgency, but the value to efforts to preserve and promote the love, as if we're holding out the notion that we're holding out even worse, like the difference layer between a dream and a nightmare is the amount of love we can hold together, maybe, is the notion. The casino deck card of the show is the 3 of spades. The 3 of spades. Play branding now.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room?
I want to cast Magic Missile.
A
room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet.
I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
See, like last time I didn't do the rockets right, and now only 3 people played along. It's a co-creative participatory process, and having dropped the ball, I've now been significantly punished. What? What are you talking about, Chad? Anyway, I do have another clip. This one is pretty much where Vervaeke, I called it your go-to explanation of the Vervaeke Hermes thing, and he did it for Nate at the 33rd minute of Nate's show. Go figure. Here it is.
When you have those moments of real creativity where something comes over you, people even use poetically, they talk about a muse coming over them, and it's them and not them, or they're writing a poem and the poem writes itself or them as much as they're writing it. You know what I'm talking about it. And if you can just sort of step aside from the buffered self that Charles Taylor's talk about and open up to the fact we've got to recapture the ability to live and live in a personal way. You would like that. We have to live in a personal way what participation is. If we're going to actually get at what a lot of the work I've been talking about is personal way. We've got to recapture the ability to live and live in a personal way. You would like that. We have to live in a personal way what participation is.
And just for timestamp purposes, and that section there inspired the note placebo faith and free will and the law of confusion. And placebo faith is that bit where like this place is instanced, and our free will selection of what is not real flavors our instance of that reality. And we got one final clip and then our coverage of this nonsense will be over for the day. It's from 4007.
Accountable to our a priori categories of judgment. I mean, this is all part of the buffering, right? So we buffer all these things, and so I can hear in my head people saying, "Well, yeah, but that's music. That's okay." Right? And it's like, well, for you, but I grew up in a fundamentalist church where people were worried about rock and roll because it would lead to demonic possession. And we had an entire moral panic in the United States in the 80s around that.
Did it not? Are people not shopping their? Did it not lead to a demonic possession?
Right? And it's like,
I mean, that might not have been the doorway, but it seems like something amiss has gone down in Gomorrah. Don't you think, John? Don't you think?
A man is defined by his action, not his memory.
Remember, embody.
Now open your mind to me.
There is no agency.
Open your mind. Open your mind.
Okay, now at some point, Grim, you're gonna have to get to the 5 whys part, and we will. That involves the heliosphere, but first, what was it first, man? Well, things come and go, but it involved the agency deck. Oh yes, it's the note on this card over here, our second card for the day. The VVK team, Lobster Monkey Lighthouse, Deadwood Flotilla. So this is a deeper layer, internalized play. For most of you, this will be nonsense that has no point. But I eventually Theophilale. Look, guys, it's Theophilale. I emailed the John Vervaeke, that fella, to let him know I talked to his friend Jordan Hall, and that I had watched him on the Grail Countries, and asked him, I don't know, I think if he's going to show up in September. There's a Northwestuary. I don't know what they're actually calling it, but that's what it is, the Pacific Northwestuary. And agency cut 6 of spades. There's a anyway, I emailed him and I got the response that said the Vervaeke team is going through his emails and will get back to you as fast as possible or whatever. And that inspired my Lobster Monkey Lighthouse note and the Deadwood Flotilla one, which means this. These notes mean this. Means this. What has happened with Vervaeke where he has gone from a guy who can answer his own emails to a guy who needs a team of people to answer his emails, has resulted in him creating some sort of team. And what I deeply believe is that us people who generally just sit around and play video games instead can participate as members of this sort of team. And it's really fascinating. And I'm curious now, what members of a team, what does it turn out you need to have a team? What does the team need to do? What tasks and functions? What's the corporate structure necessary? What skill sets do we have to make lobster monkeys that have? You see, a lobster monkey it's a monkey on a hierarchy of skill. It's a skill hierarchy. So like you can be a lobster monkey that makes clips or makes music or tweets or does hosting of shows. The skill you are is the type of lobster monkey you are. And as such, a team that for someone that rises in YouTube notoriety effectiveness is going to need a team. And it's my belief that we can make skill set lobster monkeys, and that would make us the Deadwood hardware store of the flotilla and other flotillas, of which too we could be the service of how do you manage like becoming more effective on the social media platforms with getting your message and or system and or hootenanny out. Well, we got a lobster monkey that can show you how. And that's what we can do for each other to make whatever we want to make. And that was the portion on that card. Congratulations, you've made it through. We're going on to something else now. Right after's vengeance. No, let's have a windbag. Okay, and in other news, it's important for us if we want to pretend we're a flotilla of channels and friends and community that calls itself wow, something's going wrong with the internet today. Anyway, we have to pay attention to when people go missing or bad things happen to them, and it seems like we've missed out. But he stuck his head up above the water. Let's check in on Agapacabolia.
About 50 pounds overweight. I haven't read scripture or really prayed much in a couple months. I struggling with grief over the loss of my mother, and I'm watching. I've been to see my father-in-law a few times, who's in a rehab for recovery from brain.
Well, so somebody checking on that guy. And where the hell is Dolly? Has anybody seen Dolly? Because if anybody is going to get their superpowers before the rest of us, I think it's her.
I believe that if everyone sees what just a few people become when they wholly embrace their gifts, others will awaken.
All right, let's get on to this Cosmology 5 Wise real quick so we can wrap up the rest of this stream. That involves the heliosphere, which is 5 Wise was was how my brain kicked out the 5 questions of who, what, when, where, and why. And that it occurred to me that our cosmology, like when someone asks you, what's your cosmology? We should know it 5 ways and then 5 whys. So So maybe 5 whys are worthwhile some way, and we'll get there. We'll get there. But the first is who? Like, see, you wake up, right? What are, like, you come back from unconsciousness. What is the order of operations of things that come to mind as you enter back into what we call consciousness, right? From unconsciousness to consciousness. What are the 5? Is that the who, what, when, where, why? Like we'll skip who. We'll skip who because that's you, right? Who, what? What is this? What's going on? What's this about? What's happening? What's the narrative stream in which I am inserting myself? What's happening? Who, what, when? Where in the timeline is this? Okay, so I'm a human. What? Okay, what? You're a human. What? All right, what? When am I a human? Am I a human back in the Cro-Magnon days when they beat? Like, how? Where is technology in me? Where in the timeline am I? That's when am I? When am I? What? When? Where? Where am I? In the realm. Where in the realm am I? Oh, I'm in America. Okay, I'm an American. I'm in America, in a basement on the internet. Okay, that's where. We're in the timeline. Right before the thing. Oh, well, at least it's before the thing. And why are you here? Because this, as far as you can tell, man, this is why.
In all our searching, the only thing we've found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
I'm attacking the darkness.
All right, so there's something about the five ways and the 5 whys. It's what is this place? Why are you here? What are your 5 ways and whys? Leave it in the reply comments for a +5 on next stream savings throws. The only thing left on this card is the Archie Bunker LARP gate. And that's just to say that if you've missed it because you think it's just him cashing in on popular trends and whatnot and appealing to old boomer nostalgia and otherwise manipulating the algorithms, where is it in your notifications somewhere? Just go to his channel. All right, over here and past the Paul. No, get this tab instead. That's members only. But go over here quick. Stop it. This is terrible. Where's your damn Archie Bunker thing? There it is. Here. This bit. And it where he gets into if it'll load. If the stream is still up, I can't even tell. But he gets into this bit where he says sincerity, the layer of the sincere is to your roles, to how well you LARP. And authenticity is the next layer up, and then there's a third layer up, and it's really good. And probably Profilicity, the Beauregard strawberry of authenticity, as it were. It's a really good stuff, fascinating bit. It's toward the end, though. You got to get over this play-by-play of the Edith Bunker episode first before you get to the good stuff. And that's me for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed anything and felt virtually not alone. Son of a. Turns out Alf eating cats from McMo, who he was training to be a co-host at one point, and Rascal saying he ate cats, reminded me that I did want to go over one more thing.
I'm not a cat.
That I think is this bit of this. No, wait, it's not working. It doesn't matter. What is it? It's that if you participate in something we can blackmail you with, then you get access to not ever having to worry about being blackmailed.
Well, it proceeds in stages, right? So it's you demonstrate you're the kind of person who's willing to compromise on your integrity. So you're willing to do things that are half-hearted, and then we'll just see how much further you're willing to go, and what kinds of things might help you move into being able to go further. And then, of course, what happens is we'll start to ratchet things in where your ability to go back gets harder. Mm-hmm. So make this direction easier spiritually, let's say, because you become more and more separated from your wholeness of self. And to the degree to which your heart wants to pull you back, we've put things in place where what you'd have to like go through
The cost, they add costs.
The costs are usually.
Yeah, and the only reason I wanted to go over that was because I think that that we should be able to take that and literally just invert it and do the opposite of those metric layers to access and participation and whatnot, and that's all that we can invert that and see what happens. Right?